What's going on, gents? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, I wanted to discuss the importance of not allowing environments that you might find yourself in to negatively impact you and affect the way that you conduct yourself and your morals and the way that you carry yourself in a negative way. Now, to support this video, I wanted to read from The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, because there's a particular paragraph within this book that I think really helps this topic and sort of gets you thinking about yourself and the way you may change in particular environments. So this is chapter 14, Resist the Downward Pull of the Group, the Law of Conformity. We have a side to our character that we are generally unaware of, our social personality, the different person we become when we operate in groups of people. In the group setting, we unconsciously imitate what others are saying and doing. We think differently, more concerned with fitting in and believing what others believe. We feel different emotions, infected by the group mood. We are more prone to taking risks, to acting irrationally, because everybody else is. This social personality can come to dominate who we are. Listening so much to others and conforming our behavior to them, we slowly lose a sense of our uniqueness and the ability to think for ourselves. The only solution is to develop self-awareness and a superior understanding of the changes that occur in us in groups. With such intelligence, we can become superior social actors, able to outwardly fit in and cooperate with others on a high level while retaining our independence and rationality. Now look, what I gather from that is that there are going to be times in your life where you are in certain environments whereby you are not 100% happy with how people are conducting themselves. Maybe in a job, you're not happy with the way that the business goes about doing business, or people within that business go about speaking to people and treating people. Maybe some of the jokes, etc., you don't personally find too funny. This is going to happen. This is the reality of life. We can't always choose who we're around all the time, at least not at the start when you're building yourself up, right? But what I would say is it's very, very important to, despite the fact that maybe you're spending time with people or being in an environment whereby you don't completely agree with how people are conducting themselves, you don't allow it to have an overly negative impact on you, and you don't allow it to change the way that you operate and the way that you conduct yourself ethically and morally. When you're on your way up as a young man, there are going to have to be times where you make compromises, because quite frankly, you don't have the money or the backing or the infrastructure behind you to pick and choose where you spend your time. There's going to be a time where you have to dog it out, and maybe in environments filled with people that you don't really like that much, or you don't really agree with that much. That's the reality, because you've not got the money behind you to say, right, I'm only going to work in this environment, because you are not yet skilled enough to dictate where you are going to work. That comes with time. There is a period whereby you do have to compromise a little bit. Now look, what I would say is, if you're a young man and you're working a job or surrounding yourself with people in a professional capacity that you don't really 100% agree with, but you could crack on with the job and do what needs to be done, my advice to you would be continue. Tough it out, get the experience, learn as much as you possibly can from where you are right now. If there are people within said business or within said circles that you feel you get on with a little bit better, then naturally spend more time with them. Spend as much time possible with people that align with you on a moral and professional level. We all have examples in our life where we've spent time with people that we don't necessarily agree with on how they conduct themselves. Maybe we don't really like them. I remember at school there were definitely some people that I wouldn't say I liked. Some people that would mess around and, you know, be really disrespectful. There was times I was a bit cheeky as well, but I'm talking the extreme stuff here. And naturally, look, I would avoid those people. I would try and not let it impact me. And I would try and spend my time with people that I resonate with people that I have similar beliefs with. And that's just normal. But look, what I would say is if you are finding yourself really, really unhappy in an environment, you don't like the way that, for example, the business goes about business, you don't like the way that the colleagues you are working with speak to each other, or indeed yourself, you think some of the humor is really questionable, you don't like the ethics of some of the people you're around, and you feel that it's really burning away at you. You feel like you're really losing your character, you feel like you're losing your purpose, and maybe even feeling a bit depressed about the whole situation. Sometimes these things can have a real effect on you. What I would say is, regardless of how old you are, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there, because 6 bad months, 6 terrible months can have effects for years down the line. You will find another job. You will find another group of friends. If you are really in a poisonous environment that is really affecting your ability to even make up a smile, you need to get out of there. The grass is greener on the other side. I say for most young guys who are working their way up, tough it out if you can. You know, if it's not too bad, if the environment's bearable, tough it out. But for you guys that are really struggling to be around this particular group of friends, for you guys that are really struggling within this particular work environment or within this department at the job that you are working, get out of there. Life's too short. Life's too short. Your mental freshness is more important than dogging out something that's completely unbearable. I would always advise, if you feel you can, do. Because ultimately you don't want to be the guy who's just hopping from one job to the next because everything's not perfect. The reality is, nothing's going to be perfect until you have built yourself into a highly skilled individual who is extremely competent and subsequently extremely in high demand. And you're not going to get there to that position. You're not going to find yourself in high demand unless you have acquired skills and made yourself valuable. And the chances are you're not going to make yourself valuable if you're just jumping from one ship to the next. There's got to be a time where you are consistent and you do a stretch. You don't want to be too rigid when you are assessing environments that you're in. There's always going to be people that you don't agree with. There's always going to be people that do things differently to you. But if more than not the environment's good, you can do your job, you can operate effectively. Yeah, there's a few people you don't like. Yeah, there's a few assholes per se within the role. But more than not, you can get on with the job, stick at it. Stick at it. Whilst you're young, you don't really have the backing behind you to be dictating exactly how the environment should be. However, if you are finding yourself in a situation where every day feels like hell, you don't want to go, you hate the people there, it's having an effect on you, your confidence is down, you're feeling low, get out of there. Get out of there, because it's not worth it. There comes a certain point where you don't need to grit your teeth anymore. You just need to get out of there and find something else. Now, don't do anything silly and don't leave a job, for example, when you haven't got the money to pay your bills and feed yourself. But as soon as you can, and as soon as you responsibly can, get out there and find an environment that better suits you. Find an environment where you are valued more. Find an environment that you feel like you can operate effectively and grow within. Now with me, I feel really fortunate for the environment I'm currently in, learning so many skills on a day-to-day basis and have a good opportunity to make money surrounded by mostly like-minded people. But you're never going to find this perfect environment when you're on your way up. Never. It's just not possible. It's not possible, because when you come in at the entry level, and when you're young, mostly that's the reality, you'll find there's lots of different people. And when there's lots of different people, it's not really possible for everybody to be thinking the same way. Everybody has their own unique and different perspective. Maybe as you go on and you become more skilled and you develop a specific route that you are going to take professionally, you'll find yourself around like-minded people more than not. But when you start off and you're working your way up, be prepared for things to not be exactly to your liking. They don't deserve to be exactly to your liking. There's gonna be some compromises. But just make sure in whatever environment you are in, you don't allow it to negatively influence you. If there are people at work that you don't like too much, try and avoid them and spend time with people that you do like. Take the absolute best from the environments that you spend your time with. This isn't necessarily just about work. This can be friends. If there are friends that you don't really enjoy spending that much time with, spend less time with them and spend more time with the friends that you do feel good spending time with. Spend time with the friends who are going to push you and challenge you to grow and inspire you and pick you up when you're down, and try and do the same for them. Remember, it's a two-way street. And look, if you've got friends that are making your life miserable, get them gone. Life's too short, man. I mean, with a job, there's a certain amount of caution you must take. It's not good to leave a job without some backing behind you. But with friends, you don't have to worry about paying bills, cutting friends off. You can just cut them off. Really, I mean, life is so short. Don't surround yourself with people who are negatively infiltrating your mental space. Peace is so important. Peace is so, so important. As a guy, one of the main things that I hold with the utmost importance in my life is peace. I don't like spending my time with people that disrupt my peace. Whenever I can, I will get myself away from people who do disrupt my peace, or people who are general disruptors, general disruptions. However, as I say, when you're young and you're building yourself up, you don't have absolute control over who you spend your time with all the time. There's always going to be people that do things differently to how you would and think differently to how you do. It's just about not allowing them to have too much of an impact on you, especially not a negative impact. But your friends and the people you actually choose to spend your time with, now you have absolute authority over who you choose to spend your time with. If there's somebody who's negatively affecting your peace, get them gone. Get them gone today. You don't need that. Life is too short. Life is too short to be choosing to spend your time with negative influences. So look, I hope you took some value from this video today. I wanted to make this video because I don't think a lot of people take the time to consider how their environments might shape them differently or change the way that they conduct themselves. I don't think a lot of people consider the fact that maybe they're bending their ethics or morals depending on particular settings or people that they are hanging around with. And this is something that I wish I thought about a little bit earlier. So look, if you took some value from this video today, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, comment your thoughts down below. And look, if you are interested, I run a free men's Discord community. I'm going to leave the link down below in the description of this video. And also, if you want to hop on a one-to-one coaching call with me, the link is also down below. As always, guys, thank you for your time and your attention, and I will see you in the next one.